Welcome. This is your Need to Know. This is an episode recap, so there will be spoilers, sweetie. Music by Sisters AI Rhythmic. Check them out on YouTube.
This is your Need to Know.
Spoilers, sweetie.
Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive. This time we're looking at reactions to the latest Lower Decks episode, Fully Dilated.
Time dilation, guest stars, replicators, oh my.
Right, this episode really got fans talking. We pulled some comments from the forums and wow, some really interesting theories out there.
It's amazing what Lower Decks does, blending humor with some really deep sci-fi stuff. It's no wonder people have so much to say.
And speaking of blending, did you see that thread about replicators? Seems a lot of fans wish they could just replicate like instant taquitos.
Ah, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want that? But that thread shows how the show gets us thinking, even about the little things.
Totally. But speaking of things that got fans talking, can we talk about Brent Spiner as Data? What a cameo.
Such a great surprise.
Yeah.
And it was a clever way to bring in some next-generation nostalgia, don't you think?
Absolutely. Fans went nuts for it. Oh, and remember that line Data had, "You really are fully functional." That actually ties into a decades-old fan debate about Data. Did you catch that?
It's those little details, right?
Yeah.
The Lower Decks writers are great at that.
Yeah. But let's get to the main event of the episode, that planet with, get this, reverse time dilation.
Time moves faster there. I saw a lot of fans both excited by the concept, but also kind of worried about what it could mean.
Me too. Okay, one character who seemed to embrace that fast forward was Mariner, spending most of the episode in, wait for it, jail.
A year in jail, in fact. Seems even for Mariner, that's a bit much.
Yeah, I'm not sure that totally tracks with her character, to just stay put like that.
It's interesting, right? Some fans think it's like she was trying to recreate those old school Trek Away mission problems, almost on purpose.
Oh, that's an interesting take. Like, even if it meant trouble, she wanted that classic Trek experience.
Maybe. It could be her way of rebelling, too. Mariner's not exactly known for loving Starfleet rules.
Good point. On the flip side, we have Boimler taking advice from his alternate universe self. Some fans are worried this is the start of, like, a villain arc for him.
Right, it makes you think, what does it even mean to be yourself when there's another you out there?
And then there's the beard. Like, is that symbolic of him changing? It's got people talking. And hey, speaking of beards, did you notice Rutherford has one now?
Yeah, though I did see some fans pointing out a continuity error with that.
Classic. Those fans miss nothing. But back to Boimler for a sec. Remember that Strange New Worlds crossover? Some fans are saying maybe he and Mariner are the reason for those weird quantum fissures popping up.
Oh, wow. Yeah, like they came back to the wrong universe and messed things up.
Exactly. Okay, moving on to Endy and T'Lyn. Their year on that planet together, their reactions were like night and day.
Yeah, you really see their personalities clash there, how they each handle that weird situation.
Tendi getting super competitive, T'Lyn just kind of rolling with it. It'll be interesting to see how this affects them back on the Cerritos.
I know, right? It makes you wonder, if you got a year in fast-forward time, how would you react?
That's a good question. I think Tendi's competitive side maybe came out a little too strong for some viewers.
Yeah, some people are tying that to her Orion heritage, those classic traits.
It definitely adds another layer to her character, doesn't it? Nature versus nurture and all that.
Heavy stuff. But that's what I love about Lower Decks. You get laughs and those deeper themes all in one.
Speaking of things that make you think, can we talk about the purple universe for a minute?
Oh yeah, fans are going crazy trying to figure out what it all means.
Just that color change, the Enterprise being purple, it's sparked so many theories.
Right. Some are saying it means Starfleet's more relaxed in that universe, less formal.
Ooh, I like that. Imagine a Starfleet where you can just, like, chill out.
It's a fun thought experiment. It really makes you question everything we think we know about the Trek universe.
And it's not just the color. Data's still alive there. What does that mean for all the major events that happen?
It's the butterfly effect, right? One tiny change could have huge consequences down the line.
Mind-blowing. And we haven't even touched on some of the other big questions from the episode. Like, how did Tendi and T'Lyn even survive for a year on that planet without communicating?
And did Tendi break the Prime Directive with her tech stuff?
This is your Need to Know. is your need to know.
This episode left us with a lot to think about.
I know, right? But that's part of what makes Lower Decks so great. It keeps you guessing and sparks all these awesome conversations.
Totally. It's a testament to the writers, how they managed to make it funny, exciting, and thought-provoking all at the same time.
They really do walk that line perfectly. It's not easy to make fun of Trek tropes while also respecting the whole franchise.
Exactly. This episode also got me thinking about personal growth. Like, if you could get years of experience in a short time, would you? Even with the risks. Like, what happened to Tendi?
That's a tough one. It makes you wonder, what's the cost of getting ahead?
It's a dilemma we all face, right? Balancing ambition with who we are, it's something Lower Decks does really well.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. This show might be a comedy, but it's got a lot of heart, too.
You said it.
Yeah.
And it's not afraid to ask those big questions about who we are and what we want.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's still more to unpack. In our next part, we'll go even deeper into those fan theories about the purple universe and what time dilation could mean for the Trek universe as a whole.
This episode really got those fan forums buzzing, huh? People coming up with all sorts of wild theories.
No kidding. They're like time detectives trying to piece everything together. And speaking of mysteries, what about Data being left behind in that purple universe? The Enterprise just took off without him.
Yeah, that's a head-scratcher. You'd think they wouldn't just abandon a crew member, especially Data.
Right. But maybe in that universe, things are different. Maybe they've got protocols we don't know about.
It is an alternate reality after all. Maybe they have some crazy transporter tech that can get people out of time-dilated zones. Who knows?
Or maybe they're just way more chill about leaving people behind. Speaking of that purple universe, that whole thing about the Enterprise being purple has really gotten fans going.
It's funny what a little color change can do, huh? Sparked a whole galaxy of theories.
Some are saying it means a more relaxed Starfleet. Others are thinking like mirror universe vibes.
Both interesting ideas. Purple's a weird color. It can be creative, but also mysterious, even kind of royal.
Like a Rorschach test for Trek fans. What they see in that purple says a lot about them.
Totally. And that's what makes it so fun to speculate, right? It opens up all these possibilities.
Speaking of possibilities, what about time dilation as a concept? Imagine a whole civilization using that to get ahead in tech, in research, even in war.
It would be a huge advantage. Makes you wonder, would even the Federation be tempted to use it? Even if it meant breaking the Prime Directive?
That's a tough one. The Prime Directive is like the core of Starfleet, but time dilation, that's a game changer.
It would be a real dilemma, for sure. Imagine Picard having to decide, use time dilation to save lives, or stick to the rules. Classic Trek problem.
Oh, absolutely. And think of how each character would react. Riker, Data, it'd be fascinating to see.
The writers would have a field day with that. So many ethical angles.
So many. But while we're talking about ethics, can we go back to Tendi for a sec? Her competitiveness in this episode, some fans were kind of put off by it.
It's true. It's not the Tenny we're used to. Do you think the time dilation maybe messed with her head a little?
Maybe. Time can do weird things to people, right?
Yeah.
Remember that original series episode where the crew starts aging super fast? They got all messed up.
Oh, yeah. The deadly years. It's not a stretch to think Tendi could be affected, too, especially after a whole year.
And we have to remember, she's still pretty new to Starfleet. Maybe this was like a trial by fire for her.
That's a good point. It's all part of her growing as a character, figuring out who she is.
Exactly. And speaking of growing, poor Mariner stuck in that jail cell for most of the episode. Some fans thought that was hilarious, others not so much.
I think it was a good way to show her rebellious side, but also maybe she needed that time alone to think.
Maybe she's starting to realize that always rebelling isn't the answer. It could be some real character development there.
It would be nice to see her mature a bit, learn from her mistakes. It would change her whole dynamic with Boimler, too.
No, for sure. Imagine if she starts to appreciate his caution and he learns to be a little more spontaneous.
They could really balance each other out. That's what good friends do, right? They challenge us to be better.
Absolutely. It seems like every little thing in this episode has sparked some kind of debate or theory. It's amazing.
It's the sign of a great episode, right?
Yeah.
It sticks with you even after it's over, gets you thinking.
Couldn't agree more. I can't wait to see what other surprises the writers have up their sleeves for the rest of the season.
They always keep us guessing, that's for sure. Fully Dilated was a wild ride.
And we're back. It's like we've been time traveling ourselves talking about this episode, but before we wrap things up, can we please talk about those replicator comments? That whole taquito thing, fans are really into that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I think it just speaks to, like, everyone's inner foodie. Who wouldn't want instant taquitos?
Seriously. But it also makes you think maybe it's more than just the food, you know? Like, we all want that easy button, just like instant gratification.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's kind of like, even in a futuristic world, we'd still have those cravings, those shortcuts.
Exactly. We're only human after all. But okay, serious stuff aside, this episode was just plain funny, too.
Oh, for sure. Mariner's jailbreak attempt with, what was it, bed sheets and dental floss? Pure gold.
She is something else. But even with the laughs, the writers still managed to fit in some really great character moments, too.
Absolutely. Mariner realizing maybe rebellion isn't always the answer. Boimler dealing with his insecurities, Tendi and her ambition.
And don't forget Rutherford. He really stepped up in this one.
Yeah, he's not just the shy engineer anymore. He's coming into his own.
Okay, but gotta talk about that ending. Talk about a cliffhanger. Boimler's big decision, Tendi questioning things, Mariner, well, she's staying in jail.
Who knows what's going to happen next? I have a feeling things are about to get crazy.
I'm with you on that. And then there's the whole purple universe thing. Like, is that going to come back? Maybe a crossover episode?
The possibilities are endless. It's what makes Lower Deck so fun. You never know what they're going to throw at you.
So true. Well, I think that just about does it for our fully dilated deep dive. We covered a lot of ground here.
We went from time dilation to taquitos. It's been quite a ride.
It has. Thanks for joining us on this journey, everyone. Until next time, live long and prosper. And may your replicators always be fully stocked.
This is your need to know.
Purple Enterprise.
Is that Dilated?
We go. Dylan, Logical, Tendi, Pirate Girl, Rutherford, Cyborg Engineer, Boimler's bumbling onwards. Mariner, moaning on and on and on and on. With unimportant jerks below the blue shirts and skirts, trying to make something work under the USS Cerritos. Screaming through space in a time dilation. 2380 in the Alpha Quadrant riding under the Cerritos. Under the Cerritos. Purple Enterprise. Purple Enterprise. Under the Cerritos, we go Purple Enterprise. Oh, no, we're low, uncontrolled, we go. Whoa. Dylan, Tendi, Rutherford, Boimler's bumbling upwards, Mariner moaning some more, the captain's incanting. Prime, Purple Enterprise. Prime, Prime Directive. Purple Enterprise. Prime, one more time in an open cycle. Prime Directive. Prime, Purple Enterprise. One more time, an anomaly grind. Prime Directive. Primed. Deal with it. Still stuck in time. Silence. Can you keep a secret? The Prime Directive. We messed it up, uncontrollable. Beneath the rest of their upper decks. We time, uncorruptible, uncontrollable. They've said, let's go. Directive, uncontrollable. We messed it up beneath the rest of their upper decks. We go on time or under. Prime, uncontrollable. They've said, beyond the Prime, some things remain an undermined alliance. Prime Directive, Prime Pilot. We remain in undeveloped science. Prime Directive, Prime Mind. Tilling, Logical, Tendi, Pirate Girl, Rutherford, Cyborg Engineer, Boimler's bumbling onwards. Mirroring on and on and on and on and on. With the unimportant jerks below the blue shirts and skirts, trying to make something work under the USS Cerritos. screaming through space in a time dilation. 2380 in the Alpha Quadrant, riding under the Cerritos. Cerritos, under the Cerritos. Purple Enterprise. T-Lin, logical. Pendy, finally girl, perfect girl. Cyborg engineer, purple Enterprise. And we're Rutherford, cyborg engineer, purple Enterprise. Boimler, Unsburly Enterprise. Marina, under the Cerritos. Cerritos, under the Cerritos. Cerritos.